Hello and welcome to ABA Made Easy. I'm Mauricio, and today we'll be going over the Registered Behavior Technician exam. For those new to the channel, my name is Mauricio. I'm a child neurologist specializing in epilepsy and neurodevelopmental disorders, and previously I was a BCABA. Welcome to the channel. You're doing it. You're seriously considering becoming a Registered Behavior Technician, or RBT, and I'm so proud of you. For that, here's a little dance for reinforcement. Alright, that's it. In this video, I'll go over what is needed to sit for the exam, what's on the exam, and how to prepare for the exam. But before we do, let's talk a little bit about applied behavior analysis. Applied behavior analysis is a very difficult career. It requires a lot of patience. You gotta really love kids. It's rewarding, but it's not easy. I saw firsthand just what it can do to make individuals more independent. They go from using tantrums and biting as a main mode of communication to using words and sign language. They go from not saying any words at all to speaking full sentences. That's the reason I'm so passionate about ABA therapy. And I'm truly so proud of you for considering this field and for watching this video. There have been new changes to the RBT exam recently. So this is for people taking the exam on January 2026 and onward. So what's required to sit for the exam? You need to be 18 years old. You need to have a high school diploma. You need to pass a background check, and they look at each case individually to see if you meet the standards for passing the background check. You have to pass an abuse registry check. And you have to complete a 40-hour training, which was updated for 2026 as well. Most agencies, as part of their orientation, they offer the 40-hour training, but not all do and not all cover the costs. So when you're looking for different agencies to work for, that's something you should look out for and ask about. You also have to complete an initial competency assessment. This is basically where you get tested on different concepts on ABA, and the BCABA or BCBA signs off that you're ready to take the exam. I'll make a video on this in the future on how to pass this assessment. So if you're interested in that, subscribe to the channel and you'll see the video in the future. If you're not going through an agency and you still want to get this assessment, what you can do is go to the BACB website. So this is an important website because that's where you're going to register for the exam. That's where your certification is. That's where all the information is, basically, that I'm getting this from. So go on the BACB website, find a BCBA, and contact them individually and see if they're willing to supervise you and do the assessment for you. I'll include the links to everything I talk about in the description below. Another word about these requirements is that these are the bare minimum required. Usually, agencies want to see that you're already in college, taking courses towards a related field like psychology or even pre-med works. Additionally, if you'll be working for a Title I school or daycare with some government funding, you will need at least 48 credit hours or an associate's degree in order to work in those settings as a paraprofessional. That includes RBTs. Shout out to Noah, one of my subscribers, for pointing that out. Once you have completed all these requirements, then you go to the BACB website, apply, pay the fees. It comes out to about $95. And then you're ready to sit for the exam. These exams are proctored, and so they're taken in one of those Prometric test centers where it's kind of proctored. You're sitting there, you get your little headphones. And then right after you're done taking your test, you're going to go see your proctor, and they're going to give you a sheet, and you'll know that same day if you passed or you didn't pass the exam. So as I just mentioned, there are new changes to the RBT exam starting January 2026. It is now based off the RBT Test Content Outline 3rd edition. Previously, it was the 2nd edition. There are 85 questions. Each question has 4 multiple choice answers. Out of these 85 questions, 10 are pilot questions, meaning they won't count towards your score. You won't know which of these are pilot questions, so the ones that you weren't really sure about if you got right, those are the pilot questions. You have 90 minutes to complete the exam. And that's the hardest part of this whole thing. It's time management and making sure you're pacing yourself through the exam appropriately. So if you calculate it out, you have about one question per minute that you have to get through to pass the exam on time. The strategy is to read the questions, read all the answers, and then lock in your answer if you know the answer. If you're not sure, or if you're between two questions, choose your best guess, flag it or mark it, and then keep going. At the end, you'll have the opportunity to go back to the ones you flagged and see if you want to change your answer or not. So even though there's been updates to the exam in 2026, most of the exam is roughly the same. They added a few bullet points to some of the content areas, renamed some of the content areas, but one of the big changes is they added a new section specifically for ethics, which was not there before. If you calculate it out, about 80 to 90% of the exam is exactly the same as before. And that should be reassuring for those who have taken the old version of the exam and are now studying for the new version of the exam. So what will the exam focus on? There's different content areas that they've spelled out that you have to study for. A, data collection and graphing with 13 questions. B, behavior assessment with 8 questions. C, behavior acquisition with 19 questions. D, behavior reduction with 14 questions. E, documentation and reporting with 10 questions. And F, ethics with 11 questions. And that's the new section. Plus, there's 10 pilot questions that are not scored for the exam. So if you total this out, it's 85 questions total. It is really nice that they were so transparent about how many questions you're going to get for each section, because it allows you to tailor your study time appropriately for each section. So the big question, how do you study for it? In 2020, I made a video series, which I called the Clutch RBT Exam Review Series, which gained a lot of traction and helped a lot of people pass the exam. Like I said, a lot of the exam is going to be the same, about 80 to 90%, so you can look at that for a resource. But now it's 6 years later, and the content areas have changed. So if you're interested in an updated RBT exam review, just let me know below. Basically what this would be is I go over every single content area that's on the exam, give you tips along the way, easy ways to remember it, and it's meant to be a refresher, a quick breeze through type of review that you could use, or as a refresher if you want to refresh the terminology from before. If you're interested in something like that, just leave a comment down below or a like so I could gauge interest, and then depending on that, I'll make the review series. But for those who are watching this and already passed the exam, congratulations, you're an RBT now. That's huge. Maybe you already progressed to becoming a BCBA. That's awesome, and I'm so proud of you for going on this journey. But if you want to study for this exam today, because you have the exam in a few weeks, first step, go to the BACB website. Again, I'm referencing this page a lot because it's an important website to know. Once on the website, you're going to open the RBT Task Content Outline, 3rd edition. The link will be down below for a more direct link. There you're going to see all the different content areas and the subcategories that you have to learn about. And I would print this out. Once you have it printed, take it to your 40-hour training and your orientation. And really pay attention to the 40-hour training. The whole point of this 40-hour training is to teach you the basics of ABA, and also they're supposed to go over every single area that's going to be on the RBT exam. So they're pretty much giving you the answers. So as they're speaking and telling you things, have the content task list available, and then jot down notes as soon as you hear them say different things. That's the easiest way because you're kind of doing both things at once. If you need clarification about any of the concepts, that's why your BCBA is there. They're there to teach you. They're there to clarify the different concepts. They're the experts. So just ask them. They'll be happy to teach you. There's also some Quizlet flashcards out there that you can use. I've even seen some made after my previous videos. But just remember, this is someone making these flashcards. Might not be 100% correct. So just keep that in mind when you're using other people's flashcards. You could also make your own as you're studying and filling out the task list. You could make your own flashcards on Quizlet, physical cards, or maybe you could use AI to help you test yourself. A crucial tip for the exam, and listen closely because this is big, the test is not about learning definitions. So you can't just learn that a tact is this and a mand is this. That's not enough. You're not going to pass the exam from just learning definitions like that. The questions are structured so that there's a clinical scenario. So they'll give you like a story of a kid and something he's doing, and then it'll ask, what is the best approach to this, or what would you do next, or what would be an example of using an extinction procedure to help this. So it's really understanding how the terms and concepts can be applied to different examples. And in my previous series, I gave different examples to kind of give you an idea of when they would be used. But that's how you want to study. You want to try to learn the term and think of a scenario when you would apply this term in the field. If you want to go the extra mile and you love this stuff, and you see yourself pursuing ABA as a career and you want to go on to be a BCBA, then I highly, highly recommend this book. It is overkill for just the RBT exam, and it's a little bit technical, but if you learn the concepts taught in this book and it breaks each concept down very granularly, you will know ABA well. It's regarded as the Bible of ABA therapy. It's called Applied Behavior Analysis by Cooper, and this is the 3rd edition. I'm sure they're going to come up with a new edition soon since everything has changed for the test content area. But this book, can't recommend it enough. Great book. And if you follow all these steps, you should pass the exam. And congratulations on joining the field. I'm very happy to have you here. Once again, if you're interested in an updated series, like a clutch review series on the RBT content exam for 2026, just comment or like down below so I know that there's interest, and I'll make it. I hope you found this useful. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, and congratulations once again for everyone who has passed the RBT exam. It always makes my day to see you succeed. I'll catch you in the next one.
I was needing someone when you brought me home. I was looking for trouble.